There are a lot of unknowns, of course, about this bombing, this terrorist act. But less than 24 hours after those two bombs exploded, three current and former congressmen embarrassed themselves in a display of petty partisan politics. And we want to introduce them to you here tonight. One of them is House Minority Whip Steny Hoyer, who during his weekly pen and pad briefing, as it's called, argued that the Boston Marathon terrorist act is, quote, proof that the sequester cuts should be ended. Hoyer, obviously unaware that the Pentagon has furloughed exactly 0 civilian workers, absolutely 0. And defense officials may drop the furloughs entirely, and Homeland Security hasn't furloughed anyone, and it has not cut overtime. So the exact impact is 0. The Washington Post, by the way, gives away Pinocchios for lying. Tonight, we're giving dunce caps away, and we will continue to do this for those elected officials who make egregiously silly statements. We think our elected officials should be so honored and noted. So we're going to award this to Steny Hoyer tonight, and he earned it. I think you would agree. Fellow Democrat Javier Becerra of California, the head of the House Democratic Caucus, today warned that the sequester cuts undermine the ability of our cities to respond to terrorist attacks. Listen to this.
So when those first responders did such a phenomenal job yesterday in Boston, chances are the mayor in Boston is now having to figure out how to cover for the extra costs involved in having so many people out there for security, for emergency medical assistance, responding, because they get paid. So he's now probably had to supplant money from some other part of his budget, whether it's community policing, whether it's vaccines for kids provided through the city. They've got to pay for it.
Pure balderdash. These are the facts, Congressman. Boston has actually increased its police force over the last couple of years from just under 2,100 to 2,160 over the course of that time. And there are more firefighters as well, up from 1,400 to 1,467 now. So this is quite remarkable. And Boston hasn't cut its EMTs or paramedics either. Still employing 350 EMTs and paramedics. 350. The same amount over the past 3 years. The city of Boston, by the way, pays for those employees. The Congressman's not only engaging in petty partisan politics, he's entirely wrong on the sequester. And for that, we award him our dunce cap. And we also have some old friends with us tonight. There's former Congressman Barney Frank, who used the terrorist attacks in Boston to slam those advocating for smaller government. Here he is.
In this terrible situation, let's be very grateful that we had a well-funded, functioning government. I never was, as a member of Congress, one of the cheerleaders for less government, lower taxes. No tax cut would have helped us deal with this, or will help us recover. This is very expensive.
Barney Frank making perhaps not much sense, but apparently not recognizing either the absurdity of trying to draw parallels between lower taxes and terrorist attacks. The congressman deserves a dunce cap, but he's a former congressman. And you know what? We're not going to give him one tonight. I'm sorry, Barney. We're just not going to do it. You deserve it, but we're going to need all of our dunce caps for those who are still in office, who insist on making fools of themselves, even in the midst of crisis. We want to be sure we have enough of them.